Denver, this is BoomBapTricks.
What's good with y'all? This is Ep07. We're on BoomBapTricks All Real Radio. We are Denver podcast. Doing it, y'all. We have a great day of conversation, music. Anthony, what you got going on, bro?
Man, I'm trying to recuperate from last night. That's what I got going on right now. I've been drinking all sorts of waters.
Hydration.
Waters.
That's right.
And, what's going on, LaRae? What you got?
Recovering as well.
Everybody.
But I just want to say that was the first event where everyone was very seasoned. And I didn't have to do a whole lot. So seeing the speed of trust in real life working, I didn't have to worry about someone going up and announcing. I didn't have to worry about reminding someone that it was time to go up. That was a first. And so it was great. It was a great night.
Got a good team.
That was my first time hosting, man. Thanks for trusting me to do that, man. I had a ball. I think I did pretty well.
Yeah. And Il just got up there and did his thing. And I was like, okay, I guess we're doing that now.
Yeah. It was a good time. It was a good vibe.
Good.
Lots of good crowd. We had a good crowd last night.
Definitely. Everybody I talked to, man, said they really enjoyed it.
And DJ Skip Rip, the mixes he had some old school funk. He had some new that I haven't even heard from the 444 album.
Yeah.
He had all kinds of stuff. He had old people up there dancing.
He had the young people, old people.
And we had more women than I've ever seen in one place.
I would
like
love
4
that.
dudes.
I told you,
Four
man.
dudes.
I gave her a high five on that. I was
too
like,
many of them. That's not really a good thing. You need some dudes there to just.
Yeah,
kinda
I was cool with the ratio though.
Man, it was.
I was good with it.
It was literally.
And they looked hot too. They were all Instagram model-ish. I was like, holy cow.
It was a lot
it
of
was pretty
Instagram
crazy.
models that came out.
Yeah, we had some
To the
cult
cancer
followers too. D. Kelly and his fam came out. That was cool.
Party.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
It was a good house. It was a good turnout. Good,
Yeah, I was real
all
happy.
the celebrities came out and supported us.
Yeah, which
All
was
the
cool
Instagram
because last
celebrities.
night was Cuffin', which is a big, huge event. 715 had their 1 year anniversary.
It was like
so a lot of people went that.
Somebody told me about.
There was
They
a
had
music
Dave
festival.
Chappelle,
Hall and Oates.
competing against a lot of
Sinbad.
stuff. Sinbad was at the
So
Comedy Works.
competition was tough last night, and I think we fared pretty well.
Yeah,
We did beautiful.
Yeah, it was a good job. I was
Good
happy.
job.
I was happy and feeling it. And I didn't drink. I just got Colorado.
Yeah, you did. You got blazed up. Straight Colorado.
It was like, are you okay? You're happy.
Yeah.
I'm always
She had me nervous the whole night. I was like, man, you way too happy right now. You usually stress. I start feeling your shoulders. I was like, let me see the tension in here. You all right?
I'm excited for this show today. We have a special guest on here today. Colorado native, moved to... Where'd you move to?
Buffalo. I was in Buffalo.
We
New
have
York.
JJ Billingsley with us today.
Yeah.
Comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Welcome.
Well, appreciate
Yeah.
it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I wish I was at that show last night. Y'all made me feel like I'm tired.
Oh, man. It's been a couple of weekends of straight partying, for sure.
Yeah, we had the comedy show which JJ performed at. That was a sold-out standing room only, which led into that. So we've had a 5280 Entertainment had a busy week.
Yeah.
A lot of planning, and Anthony was on that show too. We had a lot of crazy stuff happen at that show, actually.
Yeah, it was.
I was telling everyone about the woman who jumped out of the dumpsters on you.
Yeah, you guys were telling me about that. The crackhead.
Yeah, it happened to JJ.
I walked outside to get my head right. You know, I like to do that. And she done came out like, can you help me? I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna, because you ain't had no tears. You ain't gonna help nobody with no tears. Now, you high or something. So I was like, man, then I seen Anthony come out. He's like, what's wrong? Help me.
I don't know if you know, though, she was trying to say you was doing something to her.
For real?
When I was sitting there and I was up there like, what's wrong? You was back there, you was doing your thing, and she's like looking back at you like, it's him. I'm like, I know him.
Oh, yeah. See, I'm glad I put that.
Jumping out the dumpster.
Yeah, I just put a picture on Instagram, so I'm good.
Yeah, Tim came outside. Tim was just like, what the fuck you want?
Tim told me, he was like, my bodyguard, I was going to go out there, see what's going on, and he's like, no, stay here. I'm going to go out there.
I'm trying out there to be, you know what I'm saying, diplomatic. Tim, like, what the fuck you want?
Yeah. Tim Coleman, Denver comedian, is who we're talking about. That's funny that he did that. And so Meet in the Street went good this weekend. If no one went to it, WeAreDenver's producing in the 16th Street Mall some local artists. I believe so far they've had Queens of Hip Hop down there.
Yeah.
They've had Kid Astronaut.
Yeah. I performed
Kayla
with
Marquis.
him today, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's been sweet. So this next Saturday, it looks like they have Bianca McCon. She'll be there at 3:30.
Los Mocochetes.
Yeah, which is exciting.
Yeah.
They just got voted best Latin
Band in Denver.
Yeah,
they did. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. It's cool that we work with
That's a
them.
family.
Yeah.
That's my fam.
Yeah. And then there'll be some live painting as well. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah. And actually, Kayla Ray. Actually, today I just experienced her. Like, I was really impressed. Like, her vocal range is incredible. I hear a lot of singers, a lot of dope singers, and like I think today was nothing but singers. I was actually one of the few hip hop artists, and her vocal range was incredible. So she played at the last Meet in the Streets. Down,
the first one.
Yeah, incredible. We have some incredible talent here in Denver. We're definitely in the midst of a renaissance, I feel. Yes.
Awesome. How was the show today, Brick on York?
It was incredible. It was like a lot of young artists, a lot of like R&B kind of soul singers, a few new hip hop artists that I ran into. But yeah, it was incredible. Like all the talent out that came out today, and it was pretty packed out. It was brunch. It was mimosas. It was weed. You know, it was a good time. It was a good afternoon.
Mimosas and weed.
You know, that's a party.
Weed in the mimosas.
Yeah, that's Colorado right there.
That's that Hurricane Katrina.
Man, every time you bring that up, man, I get flashbacks of passing out.
You gotta get
You don't mess around with
JJ some
JJ.
of that.
What is it?
Nah, you don't want to mess
you get
around with
Colorado?
his
What's it? No, I ain't never had Colorado before.
Did you partake in the
Marijuana.
You talking about a drink?
Marijuana.
No, I ain't heard nobody say marijuana is Colorado. Yeah, I partake. Yeah.
He's on Colorado all day.
Okay, Colorado. Okay.
Colorado all day.
All right, yeah, I partake in this.
You know, they in
Colorado.
Houston, so.
Well, no, so you know they have like these it's like these liqueurs and it's infused. And
Okay.
I made a drink out of it called Hurricane Katrina.
That's what you make.
Yeah. and
Oh, man.
Knocked him.
Nah, man.
If it can't be smoked, bro, I can't mess with that, man. It's a different
I
high,
can't
bro.
mess with the smoke. I don't mess with the smoke.
These two are like straight edible people. Like more than anybody I've ever met, actually.
It hurts my lungs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I took a hit one time, Joe. My chest hurt for 3 weeks. I'm like, nope,
Yep.
no more of this.
Yeah, cave that chest in.
Yeah, I'm like,
You got to get your lungs
I've
trained
never
up.
smoked anything, you know what I'm saying? I took that one hit. And
Yeah.
that was when I was out here when they first legalized. That was with my buddy. He's like, man, take a hit. I'm like, I'm going to take a hit. I'm like, nah, this ain't for me, Joe.
Yeah, I can't eat, man. I'm hungry, but I can't eat. Man.
Have you tried it?
What, eating?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was so high one time, I was outside watching myself watch TV. You know, I was like, man, I can't do this, man. I can't eat this weed like this. I just can't keep eating weed.
It's a difference from smoking and eating. I've been trying to tell them that, and they like, what are you talking about? You smoke all the time.
Right.
Eat it, your liver processes it into a different chemical, and it's like it amplifies it.
Very much
that's why
so.
It's so high, and
And
then it's so long.
And Anthony's got a really great theory, which scientifically it sounds legit, that by you ingesting it through eating it, it doesn't stay in your body, where like when you smoke, it'll stay in your hair and stuff for longer, whereas...
It absorbs it through your tissue.
Yeah,
and that's how you get the high as far as like, you know what I'm saying, when you smoke it.
So unless they're taking a skin graft, they're not going to know.
But you'll pass through your system a lot quicker than it was if you smoke it.
Yeah, I'm cool.
It's so funny how afraid people are of it. They were like, nah, man, I can't do it.
Yeah, because
It's
you
a
feel like
different
you
high.
die, man. I had to lay
I
down.
did. The first time I did it, man, it was me and my one buddy out here, and it hit me when I was peeing. Like for real, Joe. Like, and I had a big mirror in my bathroom, and I was looking at myself peeing. It was so funny, man. I couldn't stop laughing. I was pissing all over the bathroom, man. you ever try to piss and laugh at the same time? That's just keep a steady stream while you laugh, and they laughing.
So last night, we'll keep this friend anonymous, but a friend of ours was kind of in his feelings a bit last night. So Anthony gave him a little edible. And then as he started feeling it, like an hour later, Anthony's like, there was some hot women in there last night. And he was like, don't you go take any of these women home. You ain't gonna pull out.
Yo, you ever had sex high?
Yeah.
Woo, that's
Yeah,
the best.
Man,
Say what?
yeah.
That is crack.
Can't tell me nothing. We gonna have this baby. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Sex already feel good, but it just amplifies it for some reason, man.
You never lied on that.
Be saying shit you think you ain't supposed to be saying.
I prefer sex on weed.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah, of course you do. I got shit to do. I can't be getting nobody pregnant.
Yeah.
That's why I got 2 kids.
On weed, smoking that weed.
Smoking that weed, not pulling out.
Man,
They get you caught up every
Stop
time.
smoking before you had sex.
I learned that's one thing I won't do. I learned my lesson because let me tell you, I put it in and I damn near cried. I'm like, this feel too goddamn good. What is this? It's like, nah, this ain't right.
Y'all are funny. So JJ just won funniest, or took third in
took third.
funniest.
Took third of Buffalo's funniest.
Yeah, tell us how that experience was for you and how that was
cool.
leading up.
It was cool. It was cool to actually get strangers to laugh, because when I started out here, my friends would come out and then, I know I'm funny with my friends, and when you get a stranger to laugh, it feels even better, And they was vibing with me, man. I started getting real good towards the end, like consistently making people laugh, and got into the competition and kept doing it, And I looked up, I'm like, wow, I'm in the finals.
Yep.
I was like, I didn't even expect. My head was down, I was just grinding,
Right.
And I'm like, man, I'm in the finals. This is unreal.
Yeah.
When I took third, I was like, okay, I'll take that.
Yeah.
That's just one place though. I'm trying to be funny everywhere, so
That's what it is.
I take it with a grain of salt, if you will. But yeah, it was a big accomplishment for me when I went out there.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
What made the move to Buffalo?
Man, my son's mom went out there, got a coaching job, and I've been ready to leave, Colorado, and I was like, shoot, I'm gonna come too, and it was in New York, and met a lot of people out there, and she didn't want to coach anymore, so now I'm back, looking to, hopefully leave again.
Okay.
I do love it, being out.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun. You can be more focused when all your people ain't. Hey man, let's go to the club real quick,
Right.
Yeah, partake in some Colorado. I'm gonna do that Colorado in New York. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
What was the biggest thing you noticed different about the Buffalo scene than the Denver scene?
The biggest.
Do they have a lot of mics like us?
No, the biggest difference was it was only one mic, like 4 mics a week, and then if you get on some shows, so it was different, but it was right at my pace without, every day consistently, getting that, and now that I'm back, I want to, get every day consistently and more mics, so you get even more better. But that was probably the biggest.
Yeah.
The biggest thing, you see, you pretty much hearing the same material everywhere. It's just different ways of telling it. Some are good, some are bad. But so that's probably the biggest thing, the amount of mics. That was the scene that was growing too,
nice.
A little bit, and they just went through a phase where they was kind of cliquey, and now they kind of friends again. So I came in at a good time. Where as far as there wasn't no comic beef going on. Everybody was like a family, so I came in at a good time. So that was it was a blessing while I was out there, man.
That's awesome. And you have a place like you can just reach out if you're ever out there to get
I got a couple
showcases. That's awesome.
Of course, yeah. So which is cool.
What was some of the highlights of the Buffalo scene that that you really like partaking in?
Oh man, I finally got to go into the hood and make all black people laugh. That was fun.
Yeah, it's hard to make niggas laugh, ain't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's just a different time. Especially, it's because you started out in the scene you started out in, and then you transition over. And I had to learn that too, because I didn't start doing comedy till I got here, and all my audiences were predominantly white, so I was catering to that audience. And then I started doing, shows with predominantly black people because I wanted to get that experience, and I learned out there is a difference. I found out there's a difference, and you have to be able to make that switch,
That's where you got your heart broke too, right?
Huh?
The all black.
Yeah, I heard that story on Crawford's.
Yeah. The little old lady, she's like, you ain't funny, baby.
That's one thing about the elders. They are honest.
They'll tell you.
She said, why do you do that to yourself?
Yeah.
But nah, it was cool though, man. That's how you learn though, man. You grow from that type of stuff. People tell you that, like, okay, well, I got to figure out what I'm not doing, I'm not getting your attention. So
Right.
And that's what I did. I kept going back to that same room until I started just tearing it down. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, I got this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a process, man. You learn from it. Like, it's a different flavor, too. So.
And it's confident, too. You can't get in front of some black folks and not be confident. They will tear your ass up.
Right.
They will sense it, and they will like, oh, no, we're finna get this dude.
Hey, what is he talking about?
Yeah. if they can yell from the audience and get more attention than you, it's over with. So you gotta be a force on the stage,
Yeah.
That's why notice a lot of black comedians, they're a lot more animated than the white comedians. They're all over the stage. They're acting out jokes and things of that nature. Not trying to incorporate that into my act as well.
It's like that in the spoken word scene too. Like usually,
you're right.
Yeah, black spoken word artists is usually the more engaging. You know, yeah, exactly. Yeah, man.
I'm gonna do a poem at the next, not the next one. I'm gonna say the one at Cash Bar.
Okay.
I'm gonna write one. I'm gonna do.
Are you? Yeah, I was thinking about that, man. I went to the open mic before I left. I was like, man, I think I kind of want to do poetry.
It was the last couple.
It's a lot of similarities.
The last two I've been to have been off the chain. Like some serious dope people. Actually, they got that. Have you seen the poetry thing that's coming here in like August? It's like some type of competition. It was like the finals out here.
Oh no, they got the nationals coming up.
Yeah, the nationals, something like that.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
They were
what does this say?
practicing when we recorded Friday night.
Yep. Actually, Denver has like the best poetry teams in the nation, in the world right now. Actually, with Slam Nuba, Mercury Cafe, and Cafe Cultura, we have like the best teams in the world. So like the spoken word game out here is heavy,
dude. Everything is heavy out here. This is what I'm starting to understand. Like, Joe, it's so much talent out here that it's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's no joke out here.
The scene changed, man. I'm coming back. I'm like, I don't know anybody. This is crazy.
It's growing so fast, man. It's crazy.
But that's the thing, with entertainment. That's why you constantly have to be out there and stay relevant because it does change so much.
Yeah.
You have to be on the scene, even if you aren't doing anything. At least just come around, show your face, let people know you're still doing it. Because if you gone for a month, people are like, oh, well, you out of here then. Somebody else will step up and take that spot you may have had.
True.
Especially nowadays. Especially nowadays
That's a fact.
with the internet.
That's even in the producer game too. We took like 4 months off producing. Like we haven't done a BoomBapTricks this year, and everybody's like, "Are you guys still doing stuff? When's that gonna happen?"
Right.
You gotta be consistent, man. It's crazy.
It was a needed break though. We had to restructure and kind of reset and get a new vision and get people like you involved and
working on the
get the team together.
operations.
All that was important. So I think that's one of the things about a lot of people who are in the art nowadays is they don't get the business side together. And the business side is like how you sustain, how you survive. Like you can be creative and talented, but if you ain't got your business together, nobody knows nor cares.
And then getting our business together and having a good team that's willing to be a team and not just suck from what you're producing for their own. That's huge. That's hard to build. So having that's why last night was it was smooth.
Yeah. So, with you being back in the scene, what does it feel like? Like, I know there's been like a lot of changes happening within like the comedy scene, probably new places that they're playing out. So, what has it felt like since you've been back in Colorado and just kind of
it's starting over.
Okay.
Like I feel like I got to start over, and the first mic I went to, I was at the bottom. People tired. It's 40 comments.
You would get there first and then go last because they don't know you.
So right, and which is understandable.
That's the same thing I had to go through when I first started. And it pissed me off at first, but I'm like, you know what? But I'm the type of person, if you make me mad, all that's going to do is make me get better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm going to get so good to where I can walk in this bitch. I ain't even got to put my name on the list. You're going to see me like, I can't wait to see what he finna do. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I got it now. So...
Yeah, so I got to, do it like that, man. I just got to start over, you know, and show them that I'm hungry,
Yeah.
So, and you have a key element that you're black. So in this scene, there isn't a lot of black comedians. Like there literally like 10 of us.
There's a lot of hipster comedians out here in Colorado. There's a lot of white hipsters.
That's the community. You know what I'm saying?
That's the whole scene. I feel like there's 3 scenes in comedy, and the hipster is one of the biggest.
It definitely is. I just randomly run into hipster comedy.
And they got shows everywhere. They just randomly pop up, and it's not necessarily put together like a solid show. They just go in.
But they're packed out.
And they're packed out. They have good followings that go to them just because they know people and they support their people, which we have to fight for pretty much.
We're building it though. All the events we do, we meet people, at least 1 or 2 people that become faithful fans. You know what I'm saying? So we're building it. It's getting slow, but even with my social media things, it's starting to ramp up. Like I'm getting 5, 6, followers a day on Instagram and Facebook. So it's happening.
Working it. Yeah.
That's one of the components that I actually, when I debrief myself after an event, I always think like, okay, the people weren't there. I didn't make the money I wanted, but there were all kinds of new people that connected, that gave positive feedback at the end. So they're new fans. So like last night, there was a lot of people who've been supporting us for a while, but the majority was new faces, different. So that right there, that was huge. So I kind of just weigh that out with, I didn't meet the goal of people I wanted, but these shows were going on, and we still fared. We still had a lot of people. And the people we did have were new, and they didn't want to leave. So,
and they were, and that's the thing. When I see new people, I'm turning it up to the next level because I want you to have an experience that you're willing to come back and have again. Because you took a chance to come see us. You know what I'm saying? You could have did anything else, but you took a chance to come see us. So now I need to make you come back. I need to make you feel like you made the right decision.
Well, one of the things you did last night that I was very thankful for is you were meeting people at the door, and some of the people were confused, like, are you checking my ID? Do I know you? Did we meet before? And because you just were so welcoming to them, and then you went around and you kind of, you maintenanced everybody, which was huge. So that's one thing that I'm not very good at. I'm a behind-the-scenes kind of person, and even though I'm not, I guess, introverted.
No, not at all.
But I am in that kind of setting. So, so it's nice to have someone on my team that, is able to go out there and just talk to random people. And you were grabbing people and dancing with them and, taking these pictures with them. So
that's important. Make some investment.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff, man. That is, And like even that whole crowd that was up front when I did the comedy show, I took pictures with them. They're like, we need to get a picture with you because, you know what I'm saying, that was amazing, so I was real happy with everything that went on last night.
Yeah, it's a customer side service, side to entertainment for sure. And like that engagement, you got to build up that engagement with your people, that rapport. They got to feel like family.
People are so standoffish these days, you know what I'm saying? They'll come it's like a lot of them came in, and if initially they just stayed in their little groups they were in. You know what I'm saying? But because I was going over there, introducing myself and cracking jokes with them, you know what I'm saying, making them feel welcome, they were more compelled to now get on the dance floor and intermingle with all the other people. So,
and one of the hardest things that you did, which I set it up, wouldn't have set it up that way, but you did your comedy in the middle of the night, which typically is, that's like suicide. Yeah. But
let me tell you something.
You did well.
I don't want to toot my own horn. But nobody else when they be able to do that effectively.
No.
That was hard in the motherfucker.
You
that was
had
hard as shit.
Hands-on engagement.
Yeah, I had to be because I couldn't just stand there
and tell the jokes.
It was loud.
They were trying to get it in.
People were drunk. So I had to be engaged and I had to bring them into the act. You know what I'm saying? I think that I did really well for that because everybody that was up front where I was at, they were into it.
And I expected you to do like 5 minutes just because of what. So 2 things. I would have never put you in the middle. I would have put you at the front. And I would have never had you do more than 5, just because I know how that crowd is. You were there almost 10 minutes.
For real?
Yeah.
Because they was talking to me, and I was trying to be engaging and stuff, and I was trying to answer their questions, then come back to the joke.
Right.
And this and that. I didn't even finish the joke. That was one joke I told. I didn't even finish it.
That was one?
That was one joke. But it was dope, though.
Successful, that's good.
But that's the type of stuff I like to do. I put myself in those situations to see if I can prevail. Because if I know if I can do that there, you put me in the perfect setting for comedy, I'm going to crush it.
Right, right.
Have you hosted a hip-hop or DJ party set
I did it before I left, and it was trash.
Was it party trash or?
Man, it was like, where was it at the City Hall?
Oh, woo,
And
that's
it
a
was
hard
like
venue
it was
right there.
It was
huge.
big. That's what it was, and it wasn't packed.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was like people up there, way back there.
It's a
over
hard
there.
venue to pack, man. There's so many people. It's so huge.
And the stage is high, so it puts you at a totally different level for comedy. Where music, I feel like you being on a higher stage helps like project that and be above the dancing and music coming down. But when you're telling jokes, sometimes it's more helpful that even if you're just a little setup, you're more at that eye level part of the audience to engage them. And when you're in a stage, it makes your job harder.
I hear a lot of the comedians talk about when they do like arenas and things of that nature, and they like it's totally different because when people laugh, there's a wave of laughter that goes back, and you have to like wait for it. Versus if you're in a small club and everything hits, and then you go to the next joke, like there's like a wave that kind of comes across, and you have to like wait for it.
And we had a young lady there who is aspiring to be a comic. She actually maybe has done a couple of open mics. Nothing real big. She's not 21 yet. But she's, wanting to learn. So she came because she wanted to see, and I allowed her to come in that 21 and older space because she asked. So I figured she was responsible. And then also to see what was going on. And this is a backhanded compliment, but I appreciate what she said, and hopefully you guys do too. But she said that she has been watching all these comedians on Netflix, and she's been trying to get like her act together based on watching them. But she said, she got a false sense of reality because everybody's always laughing. And as we know, when you're in it, they actually pay audience members to laugh.
Right, laugh tracks, right?
So she said that it was amazing to see you guys, all of you, hit some jokes super hard and get the laughs, and then maybe on the next one you didn't, but how you just kept going. She was like, that made me excited because now I know when I do my comedy and I don't get a laugh, but I get some that I'm still, she was like, it was just great to see it in real life and not fake laughs.
So let me ask you a question around that. Like when you were first starting out in comedy, like what was the process that you went through with like actually, testing out your jokes and seeing what worked and not? Like how did you know when you had like, oh, okay, this is going to work, and how did you really feel that out as you were starting?
Man, if I told a joke, I'll say at the beginning when I started, if I tell a joke, the same joke, and I'm starting to get laughs around that joke, I'm like, okay, I got to build around that laugh.
Okay.
And then try to get another laugh either before that or after. And then I kind of always know this one's going to get a laugh, and I ain't getting a laugh, or I ain't getting no laughs until I get to this point, and then nothing after, and just keep building and try to, now I got to laugh after, and just keep building, and, it's like clay. You know what I mean?
Right.
And just keep building up on it.
So how do y'all build past the bombs, like bombing? Like, because I know as an artist, like as a musical artist, right, we don't, like, if I have a bad set, it's probably technical difficulties or I just wasn't on point, But, like, even when I have a bad set, sometimes I don't feel the effects of the bomb because people will be like, oh, you did good, you did,
Right.
And that be the truth, you know what I'm saying? They're just giving you props. But, like, in comedy, when y'all bomb,
We bomb.
you feel it, you know what I'm saying? You see
gets
it. It's
uncomfortable.
visceral, Yeah.
You gotta. Well, me, I don't want to say this. I don't really bomb like that. I know my material enough, and I have a sense of how the audience is feeling me, and I have a wide variety of jokes to where usually when I'm doing bad, it's because I'm doing some material that's making people feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going down that road. So I can pull it back, and I'll address it. I've done it. Like, I'm okay, that's too much for y'all. Okay, let me give y'all some bunny foo-foo shit. Make y'all happy. And that'll get a laugh. You know what I'm saying? But I've been doing it long enough, and I really haven't. But I know it well enough to where I know how to turn it around. But even if it just doesn't go well, you just got to remain confident. You can't show weakness on stage because that just makes it even worse.
They want to eat you up.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, if you bomb, it really is on you. It's not on the audience. You can say, hey, well, the audience just wasn't getting my jokes. Well, that's on you. You need to convey them in a way to where they can pick it up. And you need to be able to know your audience. You know what I'm saying? I know it's like we talk about like older people. You know what I'm saying? If I go out there, I feel like I've learned that I can just pretty much do what I want with older people. They just don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? Certain stuff maybe, but like for the most part, they'll take everything. When I go with these younger kids, it's more PC and stuff like that. Then I know it's certain roles I'm not going to go down with them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I just try to read the crowd and switch it up, and then go from there. And it just usually works out. You know, I'm a bomb like a motherfucker. The next show I do.
Shoot, man, I had to quit. I quit. It was at your at Jake's,
And it wasn't really that bad. I think
it was terrible.
You
man.
hit that spot, and you had a hard time like regaining and.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing that comes with being season 2 is that, like Anthony says, watching the people's reaction and be able to pivot. And I think at that time, and in your defense, you were rushing to the show. You had, like, just got off work. You were trying to get there. And so your mind wasn't right. And then
I wasn't right because I got big-headed. I had a good set at Comedy Works. I had a 3-minute set.
Let me tell you something. Always humble
Why are you going to
yourself.
try to offend
Yeah.
Always humble yourself.
now.
Because you got to think about it this way. If you go to a show and you just demolish, everything you think about is going to be based off that last show.
Right.
So the next show you don't do it even bigger, you're like, oh, fuck, that wasn't even good. So you always have, whenever you have a real good set, just bring yourself back down to earth like, okay, let me...
And to let you know, too, Rising Sun Distillery, you've done good both times there. And that's the hardest room.
That room
I
is
feel
hard.
like
I tell people
it's the
all the time.
hardest room. I have big, like, comics, you know, B-level that are either pro at Comedy Works or almost famous there, not get laughs in that room.
It is super hard. That's what I'm saying. That room is hard. That's why I like it, though. Because you have to...
Sharpens that
those
sword.
people are right up in your face. There's no room. And it's hard alcohol. These people get drunk fast. Just like that one woman, I felt like you had a superset until that woman started like commenting and she like threw your ass like a monkey wrench.
And that's what I was gonna tell you. Like at that point, man, you gotta just know when to just I'm out of here. Good night. Instead of just if you get that lost, just wrap it up.
Yeah.
Just
And she was your friend.
Yeah,
That's a talk.
Yeah.
Or what you don't and what you did, never stop talking. Just start talking to the audience, and then it'll jog your brain, and then you can just talk yourself to another joke. But don't get to the point where you just are silent, because 5 seconds of silence on stage is when it's not meant to be there. It's awkward. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody
So
up.
just either shut it down or just start going to the audience.
Yeah, that's after that set, man. I was so frustrated, man.
But you killed it though. That was just that one last little end part. But everything else was hitting like bombshells.
Yeah, it was cool, man. But
And the fact that you care that much, that means you're going to do big things.
Don't get down on yourself, man. Just look at it as a learning tool. Just now you know what you need to work on. You know what I'm saying? You need to. And I used to go to this one. It was a biker bar, white bikers, and they used to heckle the shit out of people. Like you could not get through a set without somebody saying something to you. But I used to go because I wanted to get used to people heckling me. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to go up there and get the experience of people heckling me.
Right.
So now if I'm in a show and somebody heckle me, now I can get you because I'm used to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like a sport, man. You go out there, you practice, you train, and then when the rain, the real thing come, boom.
I had a show where one of the comics' family came, and they were so disruptive. They tried to get up on stage and do comedy during the showcase. They were heckling their family member. They were saying outlandish shit. Like the whole show was whack.
I was there at that one.
And the only one person who was able to like still do comedy is that Jake Cambron.
Okay.
He opened up. And I was shocked. I was like, man,
I
this
love
dude
Jake, man.
could handle this room. Like,
that's what's up.
yeah.
His joke about
And it was all
corn
black
was
room
cracking
too.
me up, man.
Yeah.
I love when a person do a joke that is just makes people feel uncomfortable. Like,
You're
you
right.
shouldn't be doing that. But it was funny enough, you know.
And he's amazing too. You would never know. Like he's pretty open about his disability, and he talks about it in his jokes. But you would never know unless he said something. He's really done well with that too. Yeah. What made you get into comedy?
I was
That's
just
why I'm
gonna say
curious.
that.
I mean, you're like a football star.
Yeah, but
Let's
I've
just put
always
that
been
out
funny,
there.
man. I've been getting kicked out. I got kicked out of class in college. Like
Okay.
I had coaches come to I had to sit in my class. I'm busting, cracking jokes, you know. So I always been funny. My friends always been like, "You need to do comedy, you know." And then I finally was like, "Man, I'm tired of working." And you know, I was doing security for the schools, and I loved it, coaching football and working with the kids and youth and stuff. Like, I loved it, but I was like, I'm about to go do my thing real quick, you know.
What do you hope to accomplish? What do you want to do exactly? Like, if you could have your way.
If I can have my way, man, I don't know, man. Sky's the limit. I want to act. I want to, because I'm acting. I'm a beast. I think I can be a beast at acting.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just want to be, I want it all, you know what I'm saying? Well, I don't want it all. I just want to be comfortable and do what I love.
Oh, nigga, you want it all. Stop.
I don't want it all.
I just would like to be comfortable. No,
I do though, for real. You know, I just want to do, because I like playing around. I don't like being serious and listening to, you know, I want to do my thing. You know what I'm saying? I just want to have fun and
That's
just
the
be
thing,
comfortable,
man. You start to quickly learn that when you get in this business, it's not fun. You just want to make people laugh and stuff, but the deeper you get into it, man,
it's more pressure. But
messing with these bookers and these clubs and man,
yeah, but that's the business side too.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the thing. Once you start getting into that, you be like, because you start going to these clubs and you won't get booked because you may have a joke. Joke may be killer.
Yeah,
crowd may love it, but nah, we don't really. You know what I'm saying? So they started trying to edit your material.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Right. And that's where I'm at now, to where it's like, you know, I have a lot of material that it's uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And I don't get booked on shows because of that. But you put me on the show, I'm killing that motherfucker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But people look at me like, oh, well, you're talking about that. We don't really want that in our show. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't worried about it, because I know I have the talent to excel. So you don't want to put me on the show because what I'm saying, that's fine, because you're going to look stupid when I jump up your head and I'm a big thing and you like, oh, well, you need to put you on the show because, so fuck it.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I mean,
it happens like that with music and producing too. Sure. That's one of the reasons why I continue to stay at Bar Red. So
that's why
big ups to Bar Red. It's hard to get hip hop in the clubs just because of the stigma of it and the following. Zach's one of the only few places that'll let us have a cipher.
Oh, you mean the clubs? Okay, I see.
Well, they got the stigma around it. Like, they feel like the club is going to get shot up. Even though, like, the style of hip-hop that we really kind of cultivate, it's not that style. Yeah, it's not that style of hip-hop. Mm-hmm. But it's just the stigma around it. I think me and LaRae, we connected just because of those reasons. Meaning that I was getting booked for a lot of events all the time. But it was one of those things where, like, when you start messing with the promoters, you start getting with the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, the end of the night, breaking ends, and, like, what was done and what was worked and what was agreed upon is all funny at the end of the night. So I had to kind of pull away from that and, like, really start kind of cultivating a business. And that's where me and LaRae really connected within the BoomBapTricks events with Corin, just because there was other artists, like, within the Black Actors Guild and you know, a variety of other scenes that needed to get that exposure, and we just utilized our connections to kind of start building that out. But the game, man, entertainment is no joke, man. If you can get your ass whooped on a regular basis and learn how to overcome them ass whoopings, then you're going to sustain. But if you get knocked out and you just stay down, then you probably weren't made for it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the game.
And it gets worse as the more you rise up through it, the higher you get, the more successful you become.
And one of the things DJ Skip Rip, who DJ'd for us last night, one of the things he told me in our debrief was that he showed up late, but Il and I already had everything preset for him. We already got a table out. We already got his area set up, helped him load in. He got ready. We were ready to go. I made sure he had his drink. He didn't have to deal with the owner. And he said that what made his night the best wasn't just the crowd and that he had a good time, was that he didn't have to take care of any of that, and it was smooth. He just went in and did his job. He was like, don't get me wrong, it's hard, you know, but he said I had the best time doing something I love to do. So that made me feel like, okay, I had a good night. Even though I didn't make any money, like, you know, I had a good night.
I think one of the problems that ends up happening with artists putting together events is that because, and I'm not going to talk about all artists, but there's a vast majority of artists that aren't as organized as somebody like her. Somebody who is just, their only investment is putting together events, booking people for those events, and getting things thorough. And I've done a lot of organizing around that. And the one thing that ends up always being a headbutt is because you're an artist, you're dealing with the ego aspect. You know what I'm saying? You always gonna bump heads. Everybody wants to have their time, so you always kind of, you got to play the politics within it as an artist. Whereas a producer, it's like, no, I don't want to do that. No, you need to go at this time. And it's just kind of straightforward. Artists, we get caught up in the politics of what it is and how we're interacting with each other, which becomes a little bit more complex.
And even like with getting paid out at the end of the day, you have an owner who's looking at, okay, I already have to pay these employees, this cook, this person, this money. And so I need to make this much, whereas the artist's mentality is, my art is on top. I'm one of the number one artists, so I don't care what you make. You know, I need to be paid this money, where the bar owner is like, look, I know you're, you know, where you're coming from, and I understand that, but this is a business. I have to make X amount of money for this night to pay you out. And then sometimes, you know, because that has been going on back and forth where the artist or the owner doesn't understand. So then now, like coming in as a producer with no investment in the music, just the business side, it's hard to strike up those deals because these owners have been already like trained, run through. Also, they're still working with a standard from like 10 years ago. You know, this 150 standard of a guarantee isn't enough anymore. There's inflation. They're charging more for drinks and food, but they still want to keep the standard. But until they have good business interaction and consistency, and also, even if you are a big artist, doesn't mean that you're marketing yourself well or that you're promoting yourself properly. And you're doing so many shows, you can't, it's hard to promote all of them equally.
That's why I started doing the tour list. Like, you start doing like the flyers with all the dates or whatever I got coming up. I try to be more thorough about that. But even then, you still missing a lot of the marketing. And like sometimes if you're doing it that way, you're not marketing directly to the event with the promoters. So it kind of takes away from that.
Yep. And especially the artists, like the older ones who utilize Twitter a lot. Twitter needs to be posted 10 times a day, because that timeline, it's not like Instagram and Facebook where you could go back and look. That shit's gone. It's gone in like 10 minutes and no one's going to see it again. So you really need to be posting like every couple hours. And who has time for that as an artist? Exactly. But then also with that, the flip, artists still, not all of them, still don't think that they need someone in that regard. Or I'm always the one that doesn't get paid, and that's never like looked at either. That's a Denver,
Colorado mentality. I feel like, because like there is an established industry out here, like LA or New York or Atlanta, Chicago, even, you know, I think you deal with that a little bit more, where like artists, they don't really think about the whole scope of things when it comes to the promoter and like the actual logistics that happens behind the scene. They're only thinking in the moment.
Yeah, it's just, I was going to say this, like, they think their art is enough, and it's not.
It's not.
I don't care how dope you are. If no one knows about it, then if you aren't promoting yourself, if people aren't seeing you, and you have to, this is what I try to tell people, stop thinking in your own mind. Think of what the people that are watching you are thinking. If they're constantly seeing you doing stuff, people, they'll never have to see you, and they'll think, like, this person must be dope because they're doing all this. And then eventually they're like, well, let me go take a chance on this person. You know, so if you're steady doing stuff and you're putting it out there, then people will eventually come start to see you because they're like, okay, this guy's out here really doing it. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not promoting yourself, if you aren't putting your events out there, if you're just going to events, performing, and then leaving and no one knows you're doing this and you expect everybody else to promote it, then
it's not going to happen.
Exactly.
Another thing is a lot of artists will get frustrated because they're not getting the likes or the, you know, recognition they feel like on their posts. But what they don't realize either is that people are watching. Yep. And the people who are watching the most are connecting the least. Right. So, and you got to remember that too.
And then it's longevity, because I was telling you how on my Instagram, there's people that have been liking my posts for months. But they never follow. But now they're following. They're like, oh, this dude is posting on the regular. It's funny. I like it. You know what I'm saying? So now let me follow him. So it's like I say, you just got to keep it going. Like, let them, show them that you're doing something, and eventually they'll go in. It connects.
Yeah.
One of the things, like what you were saying with watching the people who are there watching you, the audience, and going off, you know, the feedback that they're giving you in that space and pivoting in your comedy or in your music, on the business side of it, one of the things that I wanted to bring up today is that Google is coming up with some new technology, and basically two things is one, with Google Earth, this is supposed to like start helping with history, is people who are taking pictures of a specific place will go into Google Earth, so it'll start building, so people could go back in and, 20 years ago they were doing this there. So it becomes more of an archive. Also, one of the other thing is Google's testing a new virtual reality ads that reacts to the user's eyes. So like when you're promoting your events, you'll get feedback. So right now with the analytics I use, which this is kind of creepy in itself, but I can tell how many times a person opened something. I could tell where they opened it up, with whether it was a desktop, a phone. I could tell if they're using Apple or Google. I can tell all of these things right now, and that's how I pivot my marketing.
Yeah.
So I kind of watch that. So for me, Il and I had a little conversation about it. I was excited because, man, if I could use Google Vision recognition, I could see like how are they feeling like by their eyes. Are they excited? Were they like,
And then maybe how long they look at it, or do they just look at it and go?
Oh, I know that too. I can tell how long someone, if they're have it open, if you can tell all of that already. But to have that piece, like that would be huge business wise. But I don't know. How do you think, JJ? How do you think that is with like? What do you think? Do you think that's going too far?
I think it's. Yeah. I think it's going too far, man. Somebody sitting there all googly eyed.
Right.
Looking at you.
You're like, man, all these women love me.
Right.
Yeah, okay. I know that already, but I think it's going too far. I don't need to see a retina scan.
Right. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We already know
what that's about.
Yeah, you already know what
that's about.
You know where I'll go in and tangent.
Well, let's do that. That's what this platform. Tell me what you think. Because for me, I'm not looking at that end, and that's how they usually get us, right? They market this out like the normal people. I know this because they sent it in one of these marketing associations that I'm a member of. So that's how I got it. But the normal people aren't going to know because for us, we're like, oh yeah, that's really going to give us the information we need to market this event or whatever. But
so what you say they're going to do? What they doing?
Well, it's just like with the body cameras. So like outside of this, I work with an Office Independent Monitor, and like they have body cams. They look at body cams. They're independent monitors, meaning that like when a officer has done misconduct, they investigate the footage. And what came from that footage is what we do in the office, right? So with that being said, the technology that we now have within that, they also doing face recognition. So because we're on Snapchat and we're on Instagram with the little face, everything, our faces are recognized. So like the reason that like if we were to try to escape Machiavelli, right, Tupac, if we were to Machiavelli, it'd be almost impossible now because they recognize our face. And if these cameras, which are everywhere, there's no escaping it, And then they have satellites that are able to pick up our faces from anywhere at this point. You know what I'm saying? They can pinpoint us from any place in space at this point. So like we're already there, like without a question. There's like really no escaping the technology push and where it's evolving to. And we become like if you know about the singularity is like man and machine becoming one, right? That's the evolution of where like is man physical or is man consciousness. So like within that, like I know it's inevitable. Like you can't stop evolution. I'm just real reluctant in embracing it because of the systematic powers that control it.
But this is the thing. We're driving evolution by the way we're treating the planet and the way we're acting. Because you think about it like this, how we live in a society to where everything is at our fingertips. We're going to get to the point to where we won't have to go out and stuff. So a lot of the things that we had when we had to go out and hunt and do all this, we're going to lose that. Yeah, we're going to lose all that.
Yeah, I think that's dangerous.
It is.
Yeah, because everything's in the cloud now. So say like computers do break down, right? And we've been in this evolution, like we've been advanced. We don't necessarily engage physically anymore. We don't go hunt. We don't even like go outside to enjoy the weather. Dude, like that's dangerous if everything goes to shit.
Technology rules, because what happened in Y2K? computers was finna go down and everything.
Everybody
was finna get fucked up.
panicked.
Yeah, exactly.
My dad was he was like getting water. He knew it was coming. I was like, man, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Like, you can get the water and stock up, but like, how long we gonna survive in this basement?
On some water.
Yeah, on some water and some crackers. I was like, it's only crackers, Dad. We ain't gonna survive that long, man. But I don't know, like my mind around like evolution, it's inevitable. So I know, like I embrace certain parts of it without question. Like technology, I've learned to embrace it. My brother,
You really don't have no
learning.
choice because I mean it's going to happen because that's what man's curiosity will be the thing that undoes the earth. That's what I believe. I believe we'll fuck ourselves up because matter of fact, I was in the mall. This is completely off subject. Well, it's kind of off subject a little bit. I was in the mall and I ran into this young girl. And I had went in the shoe store to buy some shoes, and she was like just distraught. And I'm like, "What's wrong with you?" She like, "This guy just came here telling me all this weird stuff about religion." And I'm like, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "What did he tell you?" And then she gave me all this, tell me all this stuff. And then she was saying like, there's some scientists in like I don't know somewhere in Europe where they're trying to scientifically open the portal to where they think God is at.
well, yeah.
And she gave me like the title of it. I never got a chance to look it up yet, but I think eventually we're gonna fuck ourselves up.
I mean, we're in I feel like right now, like as far as spirituality, religion is dead. I mean, especially with a young generation that's coming up.
It's
going more esoteric. So like you have people who are more into metaphysics.
Mm-hmm.
So like within studying metaphysics and spirituality and everything that kind of ties into that, it all connects into spirituality. You know, it's just coming from like the more scientific the evolution mind state within it. And really, like when you think about like the Egyptians, when you think about the Aztecs and everything that they actually practice, it's really kind of closer to what we're actually practicing now within the evolution of spirituality. So like I feel like we kind of going backwards to evolve forward. That's where my mind is at within it. And then like my dad, like I come from a Christian household. So like I come from like my uncle was a preacher, my grandfather was a preacher, my dad is a deacon, you know what I'm saying? So they really are rooted in Christianity. And then me and my youngest brother, we pushed away from that with studying in Buddhism and studying other spirituality. So like us pulling away from it kind of opened us up to a whole new thought process, which scared the crap out of my family. Like, what are you worshiping the devil? Yeah. But I think that it's a necessary connection because we're already divided between Christianity, Islam, Judaism, all these different isms and religions. So like really getting into like the spiritual
it's all
component
based
of
off the same stuff.
All the same thing, just different doors to the same portal.
It's like everything is like you got different types of food. You may go have some lobster, then you may have some lobster bisque, some lobster biscuits. It's the same shit. It's just revamped to this particular person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But technology right now, where I'm at within it, is my brother, he has like one of those virtual reality, and you know, he watches movies on it sometimes, he plays his video games on it, and like, I feel like and people are playing the video games where you can build a life. What's that game? Do you know the game where you...
Virtual?
You talking about The Sims.
It's like The Sims, but it's different. Like, you can build like property. It's like The Sims. I can't remember the name of it.
Minecraft. That's where you can build like entire cities.
And you can live in it. You can buy property. You can own money.
Well, you got like World of Warcraft. Do y'all know what that is?
Yeah.
Man,
my brother plays that too.
Joe, it is ridiculous. You have people that live their life in there. There's real currency.
Exactly.
That you can buy stuff with. You got people that go into the game and get married in real life in the game as their characters and stuff. Like, it's crazy. I got a buddy. He's like, I had to stop playing. He's like, I was addicted to it. He's like, every single day I was on that game. I'm in the world. And
the boy in the world.
So, I don't know if you know, Facebook is going virtual reality. You seen that?
Yes, I did.
So it's like you and your friends can go to destinations like Hawaii, and you can virtually be there with people on your friends list, and you can do stuff. It's crazy.
I want to go there in real. I want to touch it.
Yeah.
I want to just virtually see it.
I got to be physical there. I got to feel the sun.
Just got back from Hawaii.
Oh, nice.
How was that?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah. I was like, shoot. Virtual Hawaii.
I logged on. I just got back from Italy.
You don't even got to leave your bedroom. You just put your helmet on. You in Hawaii. You call your girl up. Hey, meet me over here. Put your headset on.
I guess it'll work for fellas.
I think it's cool. Like, everything we do is cool, but we are a race of people that love excess. You give us a little bit, we take it all. We like, oh, I like that. I got to keep doing it. We just want that gratification. Oh, yeah, let's do this. And that's what happens. That's why we have drug addicts. That's why we have alcoholics. Right. That's why we have people that get addicted to video games, sex, all this stuff, because we just want that pleasure.
Right.
That's it.
Right. That instant gratification.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nah, man. Like, and then the whole other mind state on that same tip is the physicalness of the body, right? So we're talking about all this virtual reality thought and process, and everything's going into like this cyberspace. How relevant is the physicalness of the body and the consciousness, right? The separation of it, meaning like your consciousness is in the cyberspaces now, and does your body even matter at this point?
Well, they're trying to separate the consciousness from the mind so they can like put it into a computer.
Right.
So it's like you have eternal life. You may not have a physical form, but your mind, and essentially, if you think about it, we are just our memories and our thoughts. That's really all we are.
Right.
Because if you take the physical form away and I can put my mind in somebody else's mind, I'm still the same person. I just got a different body, a different physical form.
Yeah.
So if you can figure out how to take that out of the physical form and put it into machines, then that's immortality.
Yeah, exactly. No, and I think that's where we evolving into. That's a crazy thought process.
That is crazy, man.
Yeah. Like, I think we definitely evolving into that. I feel like when you think about the sustainable evolutions that are happening with earthships and the sustainable homes, meaning that these houses that they're building are basically living, right? You have like trees that are like your vegetation for your house, and then you have your own like kind of sewage system that kind of feeds through this whole house to feed your plants and different things like that with your poop. You know what I'm saying? They have like gray poop, and like they have a dark poop in the actual system that they developed. So like it feeds the plants, and this house is pretty much a living thing that's connected into you. That's a sustainable evolution. And then you have like technology that's evolving within that. So I feel like evolution as us as beings, we're definitely evolving into a whole new consciousness and a whole new thing right now.
I personally don't, when I think of evolution, I think of just human beings changing with the world. I think you're more or less talking about scientific advances.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that evolution, I think, is just kind of like it's nature. You really can't control it. I think what we do technologically, it kind of goes in that direction, because what we're given is the things that we used to have to go out and get.
Right.
So once you get so many hundreds of years of not doing that, evolution is like, well, you don't need to do that anymore. Just like they say how our pinky toes.
Exactly.
They say in like probably like 100 years, no one will have pinky toes because there's no use for them.
Well, and that's why bone structure has changed.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, with climate, I think one thing that Google is doing that I'm not a fan of that they just rolled out, and I don't know if you guys use Google on your phone, but so if you have a contact, their phone number and email, and they're associated with Google, and you all aren't attending an event together, but you all end up at the same event, Google knows, and it can send you both a contact like, hey, did you know you both are at, the living room or whatever. And man, so that's got to affect all the cheaters out there. They can't just be, meeting up on the slide. I don't like that. And then also it can utilize your pictures, know that you're there, and try to decipher the person you're with, so it can then upload those pictures for them as well. Because then when you take a picture with your phone, then it becomes public, basically. That's one thing I don't like. But then you think too, on a producer level as well, if you take the whole, emotion and whatever out of it, that could be pretty good for a promoter. Like, all these contacts were at your event, and you already have that statistical information. But on a privacy in your own time, I want Google know where I'm at.
You don't have any privacy.
No.
Well, your privacy can be invaded
I feel like
anytime they want to. You know what I'm saying? All these cameras and stuff, they already got in trouble for tapping in the cameras and looking at people. You know what I'm saying? They have the ability to tap into all these cameras, these microphones, everything we're doing. And we have cell phones.
Right.
And I don't know if you know, but we drive Lyft, and Lyft can tap into your camera and film, because that's how they caught the one dude. Something was going on in the car, and they were like, okay, well, let's check, we'll see what's on camera. Like, the guy didn't have a camera running. They just went through his phone and they recorded it somehow, and they seen it.
She was telling me that too. Like, I got
live?
mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, live.
Yeah,
Well,
when
live, they went back to it because I forgot what happened. Somebody got raped or something happened.
Yeah.
And then they went back. Okay, well, let's see.
So when we go in driver mode, they're using our camera, and I don't know that that's in maybe the smaller information that when you acknowledge to be a driver that
For the
happens.
agreement.
Well, no, you know
Yeah.
what happens is when you go in, I don't know if you, when it says, well, we need access to your camera. We need access to your
right.
contacts.
Yeah,
we need
yeah.
access to all this. That's when you give them that access, they can do what the fuck they want with it.
Right, with the apps that you download.
Because in your mind, you
you
thinking like, oh, they must need this for some reason. No, they just need it because when they want to tap into it, bam.
Yeah, no, that's real. I know, like, I got mad and I called you when that Lyft driver, he just took off on me. I was, like, waiting for the Lyft, and I went downstairs, and when I got down there, like, they took off, and they were driving, still running the meter. I was like, this dude's still running the meter.
He picked
That's
him
what
up and
happened.
kept
That's
going.
actually what happened.
Yeah, I was mad.
A guy came, said he picked the girl up and was driving all around with the meter running.
Yeah.
And the girl called Lyft, and they was like, okay, let's check and see if you're
And
in
they
the
checked
vehicle.
it.
And they looked at the camera and didn't see in there, like, okay, we just.
And that's what
messing around.
that's what you told
That's
me.
what
right?
happened.
You were like, no, they can see
Man.
it. They can see if that person actually has
they
a
can
passenger.
tap into it if they need to or if they want to. And once you get their permission, and the thing about it is it's not like you can say no and you can still use the app. If you say no on anything, you can't have
You
it.
can't get.
So it's like you can't have a phone unless you give them permission to do stuff. And these apps, because they always want permission to get to stuff that you like. Why do you need permission to that?
Yeah, why don't I
Yes,
use
true.
my forward-facing camera?
I think
People
about that every
understand,
time I download the app.
Everything we do is analytics to them, and they're selling that information to somebody else. They're making money off of that.
LaRae,
Me. Well, I haven't made the money yet.
she's working on it.
I'm
Yeah.
working on it. But in personal space, I mean, I kind of feel like, what if I went with someone that I didn't want no one to know?
Yeah, I mean, that's
And then
the-
there's this picture out there, and I have that person's contact, and then they get shared it, and then someone sees it, and
You can't escape it.
Yeah.
I've had that happen so many times, like in relationship space, where like, what are you doing over here? Like, well, got me on freaking Facebook because somebody taking pictures of where I'm at. You know, like you can't escape it. There's no secret places to hide anymore.
no, even so, this is crazy, and this is what made me bring it up. Is the other night at our comedy show, Thursday night, I had taken a bunch of pictures, and I went to share them, and it already tagged April Fresh, which was one of the people who came out to support.
pretty regular at
It
this
tagged her. I didn't tag her, but it saw her in a picture. Google.
If
And
you
it-
haven't noticed that, like
See
when
what
you
I'm
take a
saying?
picture of a bunch of people, it'll try to recognize them and it'll
Yeah.
put names there. So you just tap on
Right?
the name
No,
and
I have
it'll
seen that.
automatically
When
tag
before
Yeah.
you start.
And I was
tagging
like,
them
wait,
in.
I didn't want to tag her because I try not to do that to audience members because I don't know
You
if
don't
they were
know.
supposed to be there.
You don't
Right.
know
You know,
gotta
I ain't
stop
trying to
them.
like out anyone on
What a
anything.
conscious promoter you are. You think about your people.
I know. I mean to tag the people that are there doing the show, not the audience.
Right.
But yeah, that freaked me out. And so, in looking at stuff, and then I saw the eye recognition for the retina, I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm cool on the
That is
eye
crazy.
recognition.
JJ's like, I'm not doing any more of your
That's
shows
why
anymore.
I'm saying, I'm
We
just
used to,
now getting. Go ahead.
Okay, my bad. Go do your
Like
thing,
the
babe.
social media thing is crazy, man. I don't, being a comedian, I don't like it. I can't stand
gotta do it.
I
Nobody
gotta
likes
do
it.
it. You know what I'm saying? So
Nobody
that's why
likes it.
mine is so slow, man. I don't really be,
It's a consistency. I tell a lot of people, like, the reason why a lot of people don't get a lot of likes is because where they're at in the algorithm. So, like, if you're not making that many posts, then you're low on the algorithm. Like, the people who have the...
That is a big deal,
yeah,
too.
and, like, the people who have the most engagement, the people be asking the questions, like, what you think about this? And then they have, like, 100, like, comments down there, or 200 comments down there, people just talking. It's because they're high on the algorithm, because they're always engaging. So, like, I think that's one thing. It's a generational thing, too.
But that's why a lot of those people that got in on the ground floor of like YouTube and Instagram, they became big because just like the
Right.
algorithm. It's one dude on YouTube, PewDiePie.
Oh,
He
yeah.
has the most subscribers, and they was saying like when he got in, the algorithm worked in his favor.
Yes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then I remember they changed it, and he got pissed because his video wasn't getting the.
Right.
know what I'm saying?
That's
The
actually
attention-
Fat Track
Yeah.
was like that too. If you look at Fat Track's old videos, he used to do like a beat production tutorials, and like when YouTube was first starting, he was getting like 200,000 hits. He was getting 150,000 hits. You know what I'm saying? And then when they changed the algorithm on YouTube and started monetizing it and like really kind of delegating who can get what within
Yeah.
that. it changed his whole. Well, he still gets a lot of hits. I mean, he gets more than most. He still gets like 10,000 hits, 12,000 hits, but he ain't getting 100,000 hits because they delegate that to the bigger artists now. Like, you have to be at a certain level for you to access those people now. So the internet game, man, it's a necessary tool for entertainment, and if you don't engage in it as an entertainer nowadays, you're hurting yourself.
Yeah.
And it's hard thing to,
The good thing about the internet, too, is it allows you to create your own audience. To whereas, you know what I'm saying, you go into the industry, they're going to try to subdue you and turn you into something they want you to be. To whereas where you can go to the internet and you can directly talk to your audience or people that want to converse with you. You know, there's a lot of comedians like Corey Holcomb. He's one of those guys to where he talks about a lot of stuff no one's going to let him talk about on TV. So, but he has a huge following online. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's able to make money because he has that online aspect of it. Because if he had to go to the clubs, he'd be ass out. Because he has he's one of the funniest comedians out. You know what I'm saying? Hands down. But and he take the special and he's trying to like sell the special to Netflix, HBO. They were like, we don't like this because you're talking too bad about women.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and that's what they do.
Okay.
You can go. That's why I tell people, go see a comedian live because it will be a totally different experience when you see him on TV. Because like when they do the late night shows, a lot of people don't know this. When you do a late night show, this is what has to happen. You have to send them your set in. They'll critique it. They'll send it back to you. You got to redo it, send it back to them. Then they'll redo it. It takes months to get onto a late night show most of the times. Because you're literally like have to write your material the way they want it because you can't do this, can't do that.
I see. Yeah.
And so you're watered down. And so you go see that person live, it's a totally different experience.
Right. It's probably way more.
And I had to learn that myself because I was seeing people on TV. I'm like, okay, cool. Then I go see them like at the Improv or Comedy Works and they just tear the bitch off.
Right.
Tear the roof off. And I'm like, damn. And now that I'm in the industry, I see that that's what they do to you on TV.
I think the biggest mistake is that people view it as personal.
Yeah.
And you just got to get out of that mindset that it's not personal at all, and not to utilize it in that way. And you know, he wants to throw in his social media all the time.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And that's a normal feeling too.
Yeah, I get frustrated with social media all the time. You know, depending on where I'm at. But I found my outlets, you know, like I feel like Facebook has always been it's been a decent outlet for me, but I learned like the game of what social media is. Like Facebook is local, Instagram is national and international, Twitter is national and international. So like I have my webpage, and on my webpage I have all the statistics of who hits me up. So I get hit up from different countries, I get a hit up from different computers. Like it lets me know if it's Apple, it lets me know if they're using Firefox or if they're using like a
browser.
Yeah, whatever they're using. So like I learned that like I engage best on Instagram and I engage best on Twitter because I don't have to engage really on Twitter. But it also allows me to galvanize people. So Facebook I've kind of put more on the back burner just because I don't like the personal engagements. I don't like the sceney things that happen. So it also, but with that being said, I still am affected by the ways that I engage on Facebook or don't engage because it does affect my local following, you know?
Yeah. It is a game to social media. You can't take it personally. Because I think everybody goes through that phase to where they're like, well, why the fuck I ain't getting the likes? You know what I'm saying? Because I went through that because I'm like, dude, I'm producing. Because it pisses you off when you see somebody and they do something dumb as fuck.
Right.
And they get 10 million views, and you like, I'm giving you brand new hot shit, and I'm getting, you know what I'm saying, I'm getting this, that, and the other. But I'm like I say, it's longevity. I notice the more I do, the longer I'm on there, the more I'm getting. Now I'm getting people that's like, hey man, we love your page, we love this, you know, so I'm getting there now.
Right.
So it's like it's really, and then a lot of times we look at these people. And we don't realize they've been on social media for 10 years before we see them.
Right.
They have a history, and that's what I do. I go look at their page, and they've been on there for years and years and years, and they may have just did that one viral video, and that's what got them popping. I got a buddy like that in Boston right now, Omar Terrell. Okay. He did this. He had been doing videos. When getting his, then he did that one video. I don't know if you've seen it, where he was laying in the bed, and this girl tried to like play with his butt. And he got pissed off and cussed it out.
I think I did see that.
And what happened was some big Instagram account picked it up with like 5 million viewers, and they put it on there, and they didn't give him any.
I have seen that.
They didn't give him any credit, and I seen it, and so I hit him up. I'm like, hey, dude, your video on here got like 9 million views. You might want to come on here. I tagged you in it, and so he took it, he put it on his page. And his audience been growing ever since. Like his videos, I get 2 million hits now because that one video just showed him to the world.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome. You did that.
Social media is powerful. I mean, you're able to access. You don't have to do too much. You can do everything from your house, and that's the thing that artists have to understand, especially older artists. Man, I feel like these young cats just naturally get it because I think about it with my kids. My kids don't know a world without a cell phone.
Right.
They don't know a world without social media. So like the way they engage in it's totally different from us because we know both. You know what I'm saying? We right in that middle. Like especially if you one of the 80 babies, you know what I'm saying? You were there to see life before the internet and after the internet.
And I think we try to fight against it, and you can't fight against it. You just have to go with it. You have to learn it. You have to evolve with the times. Everybody.
Everybody.
If you want to be successful in this time, you have to have an online presence. It's just, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah, you gotta work it. And once you get your own rhythm to it, it's fun. Like once you understand what you want to do within it, and kind
once
of
people, because with me, because I say such crazy shit, I was pissing people off at first. People like, look at this motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? But now, since people know my sense of humor, now they're engaging on a comedic level. Like, oh, it's just him talking shit, you know.
One thing that artists forget too, at any level, I feel like, is that people want to be engaged. They want to know. They want to become a part of something bigger because they don't have that talent, and you guys have a platform that they can only dream of. And I think we forget that too. So on Facebook, I think, even though that goes back to like the reality TV or watching someone else's life, I think people need that. They like to see that, oh, Anthony's not happy as hell every day. Like Tyree telling someone give Anthony back his happiness. They want to be emotionally connected to you. And then they're going to be your biggest fan. They're going to watch. They're going to be like, oh, man, everything's going good for him. Thank you. They may not say anything, but later you'll meet them, and then they'll tell you, man, I'm so proud of you. You overcame, this stuff you were going through. And I think that's, it's like that instant gratification thing.
Yeah.
You're not thinking you're building a relationship, whether it's virtual or whatever, with someone. You're making their life better. You're making them happy by what you said.
Well, it's just like JJ said when he came in. He's like, it's almost like I know you guys because I've watched your shows enough to, I've heard you talk. So it's like that's how people feel. People feel like they know these people because they watch them.
And I didn't know you were watching, so thank you.
Yeah, I've been watching, man. You sent me that one clip and then said that you wanted me to be on. I was like, okay. And then ever since I'm like, okay, it's Sunday. Shoot, I'll wait till Monday. And then, I ain't downloaded the app, I just wait for it to come out on YouTube. And I was watching all of them, man.
That's stuff.
But JJ, you used to be a ball player, didn't you?
Yeah, ball player,
man. Tell us about that, man.
Huh?
Tell us about that.
Shoot, man, it was fun, man. Crazy times, CU 02 to 06.
Okay.
That was my years, with Barnett. Then we had Hawkins come in. Trash.
He's got YouTube videos
Who?
of you playing football. I've seen him on YouTube.
Yeah, I had some. There are some games on there. Like, it's old, man. They look old, man. They look ancient. The gold pants ain't the same gold pants. But it was fun, man. We had a good time.
What position you played?
I was safety.
Safety. Okay.
Every time I made a tackle, the whole dance, JJ Bilinglsey.
How? So you were like a standout athlete.
Yeah.
How does that affect you to be in that spotlight and then being taken from?
Man, that was hard, man. It took me 10 years really, to really come. Like the first 3 was rough because I ain't playing. With football, man, you so conditioned. Like I'm having a bad day, I can go hit somebody. In practice, I can do that. And then I go into the working and all this stuff, and nobody really understands where I'm like. We had to grind, man. We had to push and persevere through some stuff, And manager comes talking to me about why isn't this paper done? I'm gonna get it done. No, we need it done now, next week. I'm like, dog, we chill out. You know what I'm saying? We are under pressure, And that was hard for me. And I get frustrated. And you just can't just tear off and hit nobody, in the world.
I mean, you can.
You can. Yeah. But that built up pressure, that was my condition. Like, I'm banging my head up against stuff. And I had a rough time, man, for 3 years. And, finally got over that. But just trying to find my way,
What about, the attention? Because, I mean, you just like you say, you make a tackle and everyone's like JJ, and then you go to where you're just a regular person.
Yeah, just a regular person. That was rough, man. You got, it's like, man, nobody even, you know, but I hear people all the time, hey, man, I just talked to somebody, asked me if they knew JJ. You know, I was like, yeah, that's JJ. I'm like, man, nobody come up to me and be like, are you JJ?
Right.
You know, I'm like, damn, I ain't really.
Yeah.
You know, so it was hard, man. Like, just going from the top and then going to, you know, and that's probably what took me to, you know, molded me, like, for the comedy thing. I think all that was just a learning experience, man. I should have started when I was 24.
Right.
You know, when I got out.
Well, that's all that we always wish we did something differently, you know what I'm saying? Because I tell motherfuckers, I started this shit when I was 20-something. Ain't no telling what the fuck I do.
Right now, I'll be already 10 years in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got it so quickly. Mm-hmm. You know, so no telling, but you can't dwell on what you didn't do. Mm-hmm. You just gotta go from here.
So now I'm at a point, man. I just, you know, believe in the process. It was a process. I had to learn a whole bunch of stuff, you know, to get me to this point now where I'm a little stronger. Like, you know, I'm at, you know, I don't have nothing. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I'm like rock bottom, but it don't feel like that. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm actually happy. I'm happier now than I was within them 10 years, and I don't have.
That's awesome.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, shoot, I already hit my rock bottom. I'm good.
That's powerful.
You know
that's a lot of. That's because I think when you hit rock bottom, there ain't nowhere to go but up. So
it ain't nowhere to go
but up. Here, I might as well do the fuck I want to do.
Right.
Let's climb up this mountain.
A lot of people. That's why you hear a lot of these entrepreneurs, these people, they were homeless at one time. They had hit rock bottom. So, like, fuck, I'm here. Might as well do something great.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can't go any lower than I am right now.
And they go homeless during the process, too. There's a big office share here in Denver, and it's huge. Anyway, she has been working on that project for 4 years, and she's gotten in and out of almost losing everything, having to call her parents, which, you know, she at least has that. But just listening to her story was kind of empowering, too. And then seeing artists, you know, they'll just go down to bare minimums to survive. And then so that's kind of what we talked about a few weeks ago, but that's what made me make my decision, too. Like, I'm either going to keep doing this halfway because I'm going to try keeping up to where people think, you know, have me thinking I should be, or I'm going to get rid of it all and just do what I want.
I think that's going to be my crutch, because I like the lifestyle I live, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's luckily that I have a job that allows me to travel and do everything I do and still work full time and make good money, you know what I'm saying? But my ideal situation would be that I can go from working what I do now straight into comedy full time and make a living off that. You know what I'm saying? But I know a lot of times that's not feasible. You know what I'm saying? You have to quit to get into the game.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, we'll see. I'll try to make it work as much as I can, but you know what I'm saying? I'm in the mindset now to where it's like, just like you say, I'm late in the game. I feel like I'm late in the game. So I'm going to do whatever I need to do to get to where I want to be.
But I think there'll be a point where you come to a crossroad where, like, it's like, look, there's more, and it'll be like that, you know, that breaking point. It's like, man, shoot, I can go get this, but I have to. I think everybody comes to a crossroad, man. Yeah. At one point where you just got 100%. You know what I'm saying? But like I did that, and I'm 100% now. Mm-hmm.
I think I'm working now. We live under like societal norms, the things we should do. You know what I'm saying? I think we get a lot of pressure to it. You need to go to college. You need to be married. You need to have kids. And you like, well, if I do that, then I can't do what I really want to do. And I think everybody gets to a point in their life to really like, fuck it, I'm going to do what I want to do. Mm-hmm. You know? So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, this is what I want, so this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, and learning that beliefs that have been passed down and that are in society, they're not true. They're true for someone else, but not you.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's like a huge thing. So where can people watch you? And
JJ Too Funny. That's all my handles everywhere. You know, JJ Too Funny.
Consistency. That's something that a lot of artists don't have. Mm-hmm. The fact that your brand is consistent is important.
Yeah,
so even though you're talking about getting late in the game, I think because of that, you guys are structurally set up more sound than someone who's younger too. Because Anthony, all his stuff is consistent too, and that's a rarity. So.
And I think as far as comedy-wise, too, being older, it gives you much more insight into the world.
You can talk about stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have much more material to go off of versus and you listen to a 19-year-old or 20-something person do comedy and you see it. Like, they don't have any life experiences to really pull off of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like oh, okay, whatever. But you see an older comic like a Dave Chappelle or Chris Rock that has lived through some things. They have much deeper understanding of things, and their jokes are a lot better.
Mm-hmm. So
much more content.
You see like D.L. Hughley. His stand up is like kind of going more political. You know what I'm saying?
He's changed so
He's
much.
he's becoming like a political dude. You know what I'm saying? He's doing like a lot of news shows and things. When stuff happens, they have him on and stuff. But I tell you about DL. Let me tell you, I never really liked DL. I thought he was good. He was like cool to listen to. He's the type of comic I can listen to, not really laugh, and I enjoy myself.
Right.
But I only seen him on TV, and this is what I'll tell you. And I went to see him at the Improv. He had this dude, I think his name Chris Red. Dude, so fucking funny. I mean, dude tore the roof off that bitch. And I'm like, ain't no way DL finna follow this dude. DL came out there and crushed that bitch twice as hard. On some professional shit, because he went out there, dude got on stage with a standing ovation. DL got up there, he like, yeah, he good, right? And everybody like, yeah. And then DL was like, oh, sit your ass down. You don't clap for the salad before you get the steak, do you? And just shifted all the energy. Like, that's a professional move.
Yeah.
Shifted all the energy to him, then he just slayed that motherfucker.
I think he changed a lot of his comedy too, like with his son being autistic. You know, I think he kind of started like redirect because he used to go in on people. That was his notorious for that.
He still does. Like I said, you catch him in person. He is the same dude.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's much better than he was with the Kings of Comedy, because Kings of Comedy was always Bernie.
Right. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. True.
I didn't like Cedric the Entertainer. I seen him in person.
Okay.
What?
Faison Love seen him in person. I didn't. I had to see him in person to really like this mod. I didn't dislike him, but it's like I can listen to him and they didn't really make me laugh like that until I seen them in person. And I'm like, Joe, these dudes, now I see why they're at where they're at.
Cedric is versatile, man. Like that dude has characters and all kinds of crazy. He's a great actor too.
That's one.
A lot of his jokes. The punchline is the act out.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He has. It's not a new special on Netflix. It's been out for a couple months, but it is hilarious.
I've seen it on there. I'm gonna have to check that out.
It's too funny.
Live from the Ville.
I think so.
Yeah.
So what shows do you have coming up?
Man, nothing right now, man. Just trying to work and plug, you know, trying to get reconnected out here, because I wasn't really connected when I started out here, you know, so.
And where can people book you? Do they go to your email, social media?
Yeah, email JJ Bilinglsey83, that's the only thing, .com, gmail.com, you know, and then, you know, on Instagram.
Okay.
No, I was gonna say you wasn't really like deep in the scene when you left
wasn't
in the first
deep in the
place.
scene, yeah.
You was like you was getting there, you was coming out, but then you left.
Yeah,
man. Come to if you don't mind smoke, come to Devon's on Wednesday if you can get there.
Yeah, that's Crawford's. Yeah,
that's one of the dopest open mics you go to. It's a hard room, but it's an honest room. They gonna give you an honest reaction, and it's the same people there every week. So you got to come with some new fire every week. It's gonna force you to write. So that's why I love going there.
So that's my question for both of y'all, I guess. Like, how much we got time? We good on time right now? Okay. So I guess, like, what's the open mic game like? Because I know I hear a lot of comics saying, like, you got to go through the open mic scene in order to really get, like, seasoned.
It's practice. It's practice, man. You going up there, you trying to see if your jokes will work. And that's just it. And you just rewrite them. You go up there, you do them, see type of reaction you get. Okay, that didn't work. Let me go back, rewrite this. Let me do this again. Okay, that didn't work either. Let me rewrite this. It's just that. And then when you do a showcase, all that open mic work to where you perfected this joke, then you put it on that showcase stage, and then that's going, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be funny then, but nothing really starts out funny.
And
nothing starts out funny.
Yeah, it starts out as a premise of your mind, and then you just try to make it funny.
Right. If you get a laugh on the premise, you might be good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then add in the text to.
Yeah.
Chingo Bling, when Denise, All Real Radio,
good interview.
she interviewed Chingo Bling, and he said the same thing. He was actually felt like he got that Netflix video based on him being a sensation on social media, and he felt like he didn't have enough material. So he himself just started going to mics, and he still felt like he didn't, so he put some skits in there. But listening to him be already famous and in that light, and him talking about, I'm going to these mics, I'm going to mics all the time.
People don't understand how hard it is to do 45 minutes to an hour of comedy.
Oh, man.
That shit is, because it's the way you have to set it up, because you don't want to, you want your comedy set to go from low all the way to, you want to end on a high note. So you can't go like this. That's not really a good one. You know what I'm saying? You have to know your material, and you have to know the jokes. You have to know how people are going to respond to the jokes. It's a lot that goes into it. And that's a long time to be on stage for people to be looking at you. So you got
entertained for that long.
Exactly. Because I seen a headliner bomb. Ooh, that was the longest 45 minutes I've ever spent in my life. Like, nobody was laughing. I'm like, dude, this is uncomfortable as shit.
Do you feel sorry for him?
I felt bad for him, bad for him.
Yeah.
No one pulled him out.
He was a headliner. No, if he wanted to get paid, he had to go. And this was at a club. That's the thing. This wasn't like a showcase. This was at a club.
Oh, wow.
It was down in the Loonies. And, man, I was just like, whoa.
That's one thing I've really noticed, too, is performing at Comedy Works and the Improv. People are going there with a mindset. They bought that ticket to go there to laugh. So they're looking to laugh. So they're more open to what's going on. But when you're at a showcase at a random brewery, that expectation isn't there. They're like, you're pretty much setting up for they're not gonna laugh, but you're gonna hope for the best.
But that's what I do. That's why I love doing breweries, bar shows, all those shows. That makes you tough, because I know I can go to Comedy Works, I know I can go to Improv and crush, because people come there to laugh. They come in there with the mindset that everything is a joke. Whereas if you go to a brewery where people are coming in to drink, they don't necessarily expect a comedy show. They don't want it. They're going to be critical of everything you say.
What I always think is funny is when I go around to the audience and I ask for feedback at the end of the night, I consistently will have people say, man, this lineup was good. They were as good as the people at Comedy Works. And I want to tell them, this is what I want to say. I want to say, fool, they're the same people. Support them.
And what makes me mad about out here is that a lot of people, when I tell them I'm a comedian, they're like, oh, well, do you do Comedy Works? Do you do Improv? And I'm like, really not like that. And they'll judge you off that.
Yeah.
They'll be, oh, well, if you're not...
Because they don't get
it. Yeah. Well, no, it's just, I think it's just the way we're taught in society to believe that if you are on a certain stage, you are better than people that aren't on this stage.
Yeah, it happens
but that's not true, because it's harder to do a room that isn't Comedy Works or isn't, know. So.
That's what I'm saying. But the regular person you're talking to about entertainment, they don't understand that, because that's what they believe. They believe, oh, once I see you on TV, you've made it. Yeah. But it's just like Chingo Blaine was saying, you see these people doing stuff on TV, and they're poor as shit. They're, you know what I'm saying? They're living 8-9 people to a studio apartment, eating peanut and jelly sandwiches every day.
I loved when he talked about that too. He said artists have the belief that they need to move to LA, they need to move to New York, especially comics, to make it big. But he said then they go there and they're living in a worse situation, and they're not happy. They don't have their fam out there. He was like, I made a commitment. I'm staying with my family. He said, I went to LA and I just moved back. I'm back in Houston.
That's one thing that I appreciate about Houston and the South, period, is that the South has a hustling mentality, meaning that, like, they ain't gonna wait for nothing to come to them. They gonna make it happen. And I feel that, like, Denver, I feel like we're just now getting that mentality. But I feel like for so long out here, like, people were waiting to, like, they would either go to LA or they would go to New York, and they would try to get their opportunities, and then sometimes it would break and sometimes it would fall on their face. But now I feel like we're starting to build out our own networks. We're starting to build out our own movements, and like it's kind of obscure because you can't tell who's doing what actually either. Sometimes people could be doing huge things, traveling internationally, having huge like fan bases, but they still don't even like acknowledge them. Like, he's doing something, I guess.
And then you go to their social media and you're like, 20,000.
Yeah, exactly.
How'd they get that?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And that is true, though. He said one thing. He's like, if you are talented enough, you can make it from anywhere.
Yep.
And that is true. Yeah, I mean, it is easier. Like, Colorado is one of the worst states to be in to do comedy because there's nothing around us. Versus if I lived back in Chicago, or if I lived in New York, I can drive 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours in any direction, and I'm in a major comedy city. Right. So it does make it easy. But, like, even when I travel and I do, and the thing of what people need to understand is, like, comedy, entertainment industry, once you get out there nationally, it's a small community. You have a small community of especially comics touring around, and you meet them and you start, you know what I'm saying, kind of getting cool with them. And I'm going out there and I'm putting my sets up against people that's been doing it 10, 15 years, and I'm impressing them, you know. And I'll tell them, like, how y'all been doing? I've been doing it for 2 years. What? 2 years? You know what I'm saying? I remember I did that with, was it Guy Torrey? The first day I hosted for him, we was talking, he's like, how long you been doing comedy? And I think I had been doing, like, 18 months at that point. And he was up there like, oh, man, he didn't expect nothing from me. But then I went out there and killed it, and then he had that situation where he was late. And so I got to do, like, 25 minutes, crush that bitch. And he was up like, okay, I see you.
Yeah.
So if you are
it'll
a
cultivate
force,
you. Yeah.
if you're a force, people will notice you and you will get more opportunities.
That's one thing about being in Colorado too, is because we don't have any outlets, we become more competitive, and because we're competitive out here, it makes you sharp, man.
I was about to say, sharks and fish in the water, sharks swimming.
Yep, exactly, man. So
you got any shows, Anthony? We're about at time.
Nope. I ain't got. I ain't got nothing here. Not in Denver. I
got Vegas coming up.
We got a show on the 27th coming up at Rising Sun Distillery.
She was testing you.
27.
Hey, he was the one to correct the team.
Did you see my face?
Yeah, my bad. This is the first time we've done 2 shows in a month. That's why I keep forgetting about it.
Yeah.
That's I cussed Tim out.
Yeah.
But no, everything I got coming up, it's in August and it's out of town, so we'll talk about that.
27th. And then what about you, Il?
I got a show getting ready to come up with my band, Roots, Rice, and Beans. We're going to be playing at Larimer Lounge, I believe, August 12th with a bunch of different bands. And then personally, man, I'm going to be getting ready just to finish up the album with Fat Track. So we're in the studio right now trying to get that done, and we'll be going to... Well, he's going to go to L.A. to go ahead and do the sound engineering at the school.
Right.
And then I'll be...
Great music.
Yeah, and then I'll be meeting up with him to finalize the project in LA and maybe trying to book some shows out there here soon. So
shout out to Fat Tracks. He's somewhere clipping his toenails.
He is. Exactly.
But he put together this dope music for us this week.
He always come through with the music. He just
tonight on All Real Radio, listen to some new music and our newest.
Real quick, artists that want to get played on All Real Radio, please email us your music at BoomBapTricks@gmail.
BoomBapTricksRadio@gmail.com.
BoomBapTricksRadio@gmail. Please submit that music because we're trying to get more exposure to up-and-coming artists. We do have 3,000 consistent listeners on our station, so it's crazy for you not to be submitting the music. You're going to get international exposure.
Right.
For those of you that want to send me nudes, my email is armstrongcomedy@gmail. And follow me on Instagram at Armstrong Comedy, Facebook. You be my real friend. Anthony Armstrong, goddammit. Let's talk.
What about you, JJ? What are you trying to get in that email?
CC JJ Bilinglsey 83.
JJ don't need no help. Don't send him shit.
No, go on.
JJ came with a flock of white, beautiful women. JJ don't need no help.
Hey, they carried him in.
They don't get.
Oh man, you're too funny. Anthony was trying to hit on one of them pretty good.
Oh, you know I love me a seasoned woman. Old girl that's sitting up front in the dress,
In the maroon?
Yeah.
You. I see you.
He's all right.
Old girl was over there singing JJ praises. Like,
Now,
JJ!
Hey, she didn't like that, but he said JJ probably fucked her.
Yeah, on stage. I was like, what
got
the
that
hell?
pussy?
Nah,
You,
man. Nah,
man, I ain't never seen him up there.
He's setting the record straight on
You're
radio,
like Google.
y'all.
You're trying to mess him up. What if he had someone else there?
Yeah,
And you're
okay.
like,
I'm not
Google.
saying he's been doing it recently, but once upon a time.
Nah.
Well, you
I
plant that
never did
seed.
that.
You know how our heads are.
JJ knocked that motherfucker out the box.
No.
He knocked that motherfucker out the box. She was just too, because she had got drunk and she was letting it all out the bag.
She just said my name, dog.
Alright.
That's it. It's how she said my name.
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't hear it though. I was standing right next to her, Joe. She was talking about you. And that's why I'm like, JJ then.
Well, shout out to All Real Radio for giving us this platform to talk our nonsense. And we are Denver. And make sure you go out this Saturday to Meet in the Streets. And Bianca McCon, Los Moschettes, and I believe it was Jawan who's going to be doing the live art out there.
Very dope.
Yeah, so that's pretty exciting. Also, the We Are Denver website is up, so www.wearedenver.com, and you can kind of look at all those events. And then also we have BoomBapTricks.com set up if you want to check that out as well.
.org. That does make a big difference.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Find it though. We're the only people doing cool shit on
Shout out to Samson, who talks about nothing and doesn't know anything. Make sure you're watching his podcast. That's the name of his podcast. What do you
I
think?
thought you were just making
I don't
What's
know.
the name of it?
I like how she plugged it in. I was like, yo, she's making jabs right now.
Yeah, he knows nothing. It's about nothing. Yeah.
It's Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he knows a lot.
Sure. I mean, I've seen his podcast a few times.
He knows everything.
Brother's very
Hippie
intelligent.
white dude. Hippie white dude be knowing shit.
They got all the information, y'all. Peace, y'all. BoomBapTricks, check us out, allrealradio.com. Download the app. Check us out on WeAreDenver on YouTube. Ghost
We got
House.
some new late night shows too. We have 2 guys on Monday nights.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
Super funny guys. We have, what is the other one? The Truth in the Booth with Ziggy Bobby. That's like on Tuesday nights.
Oh, yeah. That brother's hilarious, too. And
Yeah.
he's hitting that knowledge on him. Deep.
Yeah, and he's a DJ at one of the top radio stations
In
out there for
Houston.
hip. Yeah.
Right on, y'all. Peace, light, be blessed.
Peace out.
Yeah.